Today I want to give you an update on our migration into Kingdom 2605. Plus, I want to show you the scoreboard after the training stage for the 8 Imperium KvK with 1960 and 1034. That's freaking 1v, the ultimate showdown between 8 Imperium kingdoms. So, whether you're a hate watcher or a fan of the channel, something in this video is going to get your attention. Let's get going. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and 1 KvK ago, the Smash Squad moved into Kingdom 2605, and we've had a really difficult decision right off the bat, which is how many alliances should we try to build in a kingdom? And this is kind of a weird question, whether or not you're building a large kingdom. This should be pretty important to you because it seems like kingdoms are getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, especially the biggest kingdoms are getting smaller and smaller. So we actually went in the direction of going with a 1 alliance kingdom. We could always change that later if we really want to, but I think it's actually the correct decision these days for a large kingdom to only have 1 alliance if you actually want to kind of allow your players space to power up and then kill off their troops and then repeat the cycle. So we're up to 16.5 billion power, and people are still healing their hospitals. We also still have our ticket migrations, which should be coming over the next couple weeks, and that includes 1 player who's over 500 million power. The other player I mentioned in a previous video, over 500 million power, has already made their way here. So let's just go and get a quick look at the leaderboards to show kind of what we're looking like. In terms of individual power, you may remember Fluffy Pony from the top 10 by power video that I made. He is at 722 million power, 32.7 billion kill points, and 242 million dead troops. Oh, and 250 billion resource assistance. By the way, if you want to give me some resources, I'd be happy to have them, but I'm sure you're building up your collection now that you've moved here. It's always quite a task to get your resources after you move to a new kingdom. So Fluffy Pony, welcome, 32.7 billion kill points, which, by the way, doesn't even place this account in the top 10 by kill points. You got to be well over 40 billion to be in the top 10, I believe. Maybe it's like 38 billion. I don't know. It's a crazy number. It is a crazy number. I did that list recently. Card will be in the end screen for that when we get there. So Fluffy Pony is here with a large account. And I'll just scroll through the players that are in the kingdom. Some of these folks have been here. Some of these folks are new. If you're new here, welcome aboard. I'm sitting at 13th by power. I'm at 145.6 million power. That is with siege deletion. And also, I need to train. I haven't trained in a really, really, really long time. Probably going to end up doing that for the cavalry city theme. If I want to rally or garrison with calves, we'll see here. So really, really feeling very good about where we're at as a kingdom now. 1 alliance kingdom design. In terms of kill points, we are at 1.158 trillion kill points. And hopefully we'll take a KvK pop soon in order to crank up that number even more. In terms of the end of KvK reward that I chose for the Autarch testimony, I actually ended up going with the wedge formation. For those of you who are wondering, gosh, did Chisgule go with Hunter, or did he go with the Arch formation armament in anticipation of all these new normal attackers? I did go with Hunter because Hunter is really good now, and I'm the Envoy. Look at that. I feel pretty good about this choice, although I am actively working on my Arch armament, which are honestly just kind of terrible at this point. So I think that gives you the overview of kind of where we're at in 2605. Once everybody's hospital's healed, I think I don't know what power we'll be up to, but I did mention there is 1 more person coming, over 500 million power. So when you factor in the hospital healing, plus this other player coming in, we're going to be over 17 billion power before we queue up for our next KvK. Plus we got Zenith the Power training coming soon. Then we've got Eve of the Crusade training. So yeah, I mean, by power and by KP, I'm feeling really good. And most importantly, like the leadership team here is really solid. It's like all mature adults, which is a dramatic change of pace from other places I've been. So GG, man. Let me show you how the 8 Imperium KvK is going. And if you missed my video about this, holy cow. I mean, it's the showdown of the century. And it's honestly probably going to be the biggest KvK of the year. You've got 1960 against 1034 in an 8 Imperium KvK. And I honestly don't know why it's taken so long to get a KvK matchup like this. This is the only thing players want to play if they're in the top end. And it's the only thing players want to watch as a spectator, is like the big crazy showdowns. I mean, people want to watch other stuff too, I guess. But like this is what they want to see, is the crazy stuff. So I feel like this is a huge win, and I genuinely hope that we see more KvKs look like this. This is really what it should look like. And Imperiums are such a class above non-Imperiums, and top Imperiums are such a 3x tier above a regular Imperium that, like, this is what it needs to be good matchmaking, in my opinion. Now, if we look at my Kingdom 2605 real quick, have we even flipped back into Imperium? We haven't even flipped back into Imperium. People are still healing their hospitals, though, so we probably will flip, but we might not. But I think as an alliance, we're pretty much full. We do technically maybe have a couple people in the second alliance that maybe spill over into the main alliance once we get more room. When we enter our next KvK. I actually don't know when we're taking that KvK pop, but let me show you the scores here after the training stage for this crazy 8 Imperium KvK. Now, as a reminder, there were a bunch of different ways that we had speculated that they could do the allies in this KvK, but they ended up doing the top versus bottom iteration, where it's the bottom 5 war camps versus the top 3 war camps, which is something that I had talked about as a possibility, but I didn't think made a lot of sense. And the reason I didn't think it made a lot of sense is that it only gives one entryway into Kingsland for those top 3 war camps that are grouped up together. And also it makes 2 war camps, that's 2377 and 1606, have no fighting until these black circled passes opened up. So it's going to be a weird experience for the sort of middle kingdoms here, having to just wait for an eternity before any fights. And then the outside kingdoms have 2v1s. So, like, I don't know how that's going to go, because you can get kind of entrenched in these zones before the sort of middle zone 6 opens. But neither of these middle kingdoms here or on the other side is really positioned at all to try to take the opposing kingdom in a 1v1, right? I don't know. I don't know the kingdoms well enough maybe to say that for sure, but I would assume that 1671 has ample punch and account age above and beyond 2891 that they, 2891 probably contest this zone. I don't know that they win it though. So without getting into all those details, I mean, look, if 2891 and 2268 win their 1v1s against 1960 and 1671, this KvK is over. So we just need to assume they can't win those 1v1s, and the map kind of looks like this for the 2v1 fights that definitely I'll be streaming once those happen. So you might be wondering, all right, well, how is the Eve of Crusade going? Let me show you the pictures. So at the very end of the training stage, here's where things were at. 3.3, is that billion, trillion? I don't know, man. The scores are so large. Oh my God. 3.3 for 1960, 2.3 for 1671, 1.7 almost for 2377. You notice a pattern here? Those 3 kingdoms are allies against the 5 other kingdoms. Okay, so the remaining kingdoms on the screen here, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, are all allies. Ay. So that's what the scores look like. And at an individual level, Wild Lion and Mr. Hope with the absolutely mental scores at 314 million. Jeez. 313 million for Mr. Hope. So that is a father and son duo that I covered in a previous video for the top 10 players by power. They are both over 1 billion power now. And they are in that top middle war camp that basically has to sit there twiddling their thumbs until they actually can participate in the fight. GG. So this is going to be really crazy. In terms of other players that ranked really highly, I don't know, man. I mean, it's like all players from that top axis of 1960, 1671, and 2377. Wow. Okay. Subscribe if you haven't already, if you want to see this KvK, or hey, Smash Squad will be going into KvK soon. Plus, you're not going to want to miss the other 500 million power plus player that is planning to come to our kingdom. Once they get here, I'm probably not going to make a video about their arrival here, but once they're here, I'll show you who it is and, give you a quick little tour of the account maybe. But if you want to see the top 10 players by power, card will be in the end screen for that in just a second. And if you want to see the speculation I did about the matchmaking for this KvK and reviewing the power and the kill points, card will be in the end screen for that in just a second. I think this is going to be a really fun KvK to watch. And a big shout out, by the way, to Plotto Gaming, who you see pictured here, who sent me these pictures. Thank you very much for the updates on this KvK. We'll be seeing more of him once that KvK starts and he's streaming it. I'm quite confident we'll drop some raids on him during his fighting, and it's going to be fun to spectate, man. Until next time, you have fun smashing the kingdom.